I'm Draven. I typically make high gain amp demos here on YouTube, and today we're going to be checking out the LINE6 Helix, which, as I'm sure you could tell, this is the rack version. A few weeks ago I got to mess around with the floorboard version of the Helix, and I honestly didn't really care for it too much, but I didn't get to spend too much time with it, so I figured instead of just kind of saying I don't like it and leaving it at that, I went ahead and had Zounds send me the rack version just so I could spend a little more time with it and also make videos of it to show you. And so this won't be like a super in-depth video or anything. We're just going to run through a couple of the amps and stuff and kind of see what we can get out of it. Overall, it sounds pretty good. I don't think it sounds bad at all. My main issues were some of the utility features, and as well as kind of the price point and like where it sits among other modelers with like what it can do and stuff like that. But like I said, we'll kind of check out what it can do and how it sounds, since that's realistically the most important part. Price-wise, these are usually $1,600. Currently, Zounds has them for $14 on sale, which is kind of in the territory of like Kempers and Quad Cortex units, so but with no like capturing or profiling kind of stuff, just like the LINE6 models. And I'll have to double check, but I don't think it has like a EQ match kind of thing like the Axe-Fx does either. And so I just wanted to mention that. With that being said, let's plug it in and see how it sounds. And as always, if you end up enjoying this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And I have some affiliate links down in the description, or if you want to pick something up, helps me out a ton. And yeah, let's check it out. Alright, so I got it all plugged in. I'm just running my guitar straight into the Helix, and then I'm using the XLR out to go into my interface. I have the USB plugged in, so that way we can go through the app, since it's a lot easier to see and faster to kind of scroll through. I'm going to keep it pretty simple for like the blocks. For the cab, I have a 412 Cali V30 with a 57 and a M160, and then we'll go through some of the amps. And then for the boost that will turn on and off, I have the Horizon drive, since I'm pretty familiar with that. So we'll just kind of go through some of the amps and see how it sounds. The first one I have up is a Mandarin 80. Which is definitely a little too low gain. Then we have the Mandarin Rocker. We'll kind of skip through some of the like Marshall-esque stuff and jump to the British or Brit 2203. Turn the boost back off. The 2204. This is the German Ubersonic. I'm guessing that is a Uberschall. Next we'll go to the Cali 4 lead, which I'm guessing this is a like Mark IV kind of thing. Here's the Cali rectifier. The archetype lead. angle meteor. Solo lead OD. PV Panama, which I'm pretty sure is just a 5150 kind of thing. This is the PV Vitriol. I'm guessing this is like a 5153 or something. Rev generator purple. The red generator. The benzene lead, which I'm not sure what it is. Then they have their own kind of like amp models. This one is the 2204 mod. LINE6 Fatality. LINE6 Badonk. The LINE6 Epic. Doom. Electric. The LINE6 Oblivion. Yeah, and I think that's about it for the like high gain amp models that they have built in. A cool thing that I did want to mention that they have built in is a HM2, which I feel is kind of rare to find models of. Which is always just a super fun thing to play with. Outside of that, I think my biggest gripe with the unit is the EQs. Coming from doing studio stuff, I like having a lot of options when it comes to EQ. And these all have just like that kind of graphic EQ kind of thing. Similar to like the Kemper. With having a large screen and being able to control it through an app, I think having more of a visual EQ would have been great to have, just for really dialing things in, especially coming from like recording on your computer and what other modelers also have. I think that would be something that would be really good to have, since most people are really used to it at this point. But yeah, I definitely think it's a good sounding unit in terms of amp models and stuff. And we didn't go over it, but Line6 is always really good at like reverbs and delays and all that kind of stuff. So it'd be cool to see if maybe the new line of the Helix stuff has some of the stuff that I talked about, and maybe, you know, some more updates. But yeah, I think that's about it. I just kind of wanted to share my experience of testing out the Helix racks, mainly out of curiosity since I've never really messed with one. Later this week I'll put up a video shooting out some of the amp models in this compared to some like Quad Cortex built-in models, and we'll use like the same IR and stuff and kind of see how they compare. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And yeah, I think that's about it. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.